The Antec DF700 Flux, coming in at a price tag of $104.99. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same product, there's Amazon links below. Being an airflow case, this has a mesh front grille that has almost this wavy 3D design in it, which is very, very cool. Then tempered glass side panel is a full piece of glass going all the way down to the bottom. So if you do have something like an RGB power supply, you will be able to kind of see that RGB a little bit. Besides these two elements, the case overall is very functional, but is fairly basic looking. Color options here are also black or white. And obviously the white is a little bit more flary. So if you do want some more flare, while the case kind of looks a little bit more basic besides that front grille, well, the white definitely adds that. And if you are looking for the best value, maybe the cheapest build possible, while not just getting a complete crap case, this may be your best option here. The Antec has 3 120mm RGB fans pre-mounted in the front. However, this then gives you 2 more non-RGB 120mm fans, which I use for an exhaust fan, which comes pre-mounted, and then a second fan exhausting the GPU's heat. So if you buy this case, you will not need to buy any more fans for this case. That's a huge pro here. That saves quite a bit of money. But let's talk airflow and temps. Starting it off with the noise while not under load is extremely quiet here at about 31.6 decibels, like from 12 inches away, so closer than you would typically be, even if it's mounted on your desk. That's very, very quiet. Noise with all stock fans at full under load is an impressive 40.5 decibels. That's very impressive. Now you gotta remember that yes, this isn't gonna have the best, highest CFM fans in the world, but well, we'll talk about the temps here because they were actually very good. The stock fans here are quite quiet. Like I said, airflow with the stock fans isn't absolutely insane, but it is nothing to scoff at either. This manages a 30-80 really, really well. The front mesh lets in tons of air, obviously, with the only con here being that there is no dust screen besides the mesh itself. However, airflow gets even better here, having airflow out the back panel with a magnetic dust screen under the PSU, and a magnetic dust screen on top. Now, this is a very big deal for me as, well, even though the fans aren't the best in the world, you can get this, put in a fairly high-end GPU, and that bottom exhaust fan is definitely going to help your thermals a ton, especially if you want to just max this thing out with a ton of fans. You can put all fans on the top, fans below the GPU, fans out that exhaust, and then a bunch of fans in the front. You could even do a radiator as well, an AIO. So this can be like very, very good. That's the reason it's such an insane value. All right, but how's the cable management and ease of build here? Well, the cable management here is a mixed bag with only a few minor inconveniences. There are plenty of tie down points for Velcro or zip ties, and everything is hidden pretty well. However, the only real inconvenience is the bottom cable management holes near the bottom of the motherboard, sitting next to that PSU. They weren't cut out really tall enough, so my power supply had to be unscrewed and moved for those cables to fit through, similar to the previous case. Overall, not a huge deal, just those 2 sections, those 2 cable management holes, but overall a pretty minor inconvenience. Now for GPUs, we got 16 inches of clearance between where you mount the GPU and those front fans. So plenty of space for, well, a 4090, basically anything you want. Even if you have a radiator in there, it's still gonna fit even a 4090. But speaking of that, let's talk about the fan and radiator compatibility here. One of the really cool things about this case is that can accept 3 140mm fans in the front. Dude, that is awesome. For the price, including all those fans, you could actually get 3 140mm fans, put them up there, and then still use all of those stock fans. I mean, we're just talking about loads of value here. And, well, tons of airflow. 140s, 3 of them in the front? Yeah. Okay. As well, on top, this can fit 2 140mm fans or 3 120mm fans. And as you would expect, this can also fit a 360mm AIO. You can also fit a 360mm radiator in the front, which obviously we do expect. But then, like I said before, under that GPU on the bottom, there are also 2 mounting points for 120mm fans. Now, although this sounds amazing, like at this price point, also having that lower exhaust is awesome. Realistically, having that secondary fan is not gonna give you a ton of airflow unless you have your PSU facing upwards. Instead of having your power supply facing downwards, you're gonna wanna flip that upwards, 2 fans on the bottom. This case, because of those things. It's just such an amazing deal. This is a great first case. Again, if you want to spend as little money as possible while getting still a great case. Now, one of the cool extras is that this actually has a Fan and Rgb Hub with 6 3-pin RGB headers. As far as mounting for your hard drives and SSDs, there are two 2.5-inch SSD mounting brackets plus a 3.5-inch drive bay on a slider, which is a nice touch. Yeah, there's a lot of like premium features here. Overall, if you've never built a PC before, don't want to worry about airflow, don't want to buy case fans, and you want to keep your budget under control, this is a fantastic case. Again, if you want to check out this exact same product, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. And if you want to check out my main channel with longer form content, you can check that out right here. But this is a consumer tech review, high speed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.